That's a really good thing for people to remember or understand because people just get so worried about how many veggies they're eating all the time. But it's also
Hi, I'm Dr. Jodi Richardson, and this is Well, Hello Anxiety. In a world that often moves too fast, we're here to pause, breathe, and understand anxiety together. Each episode will explore practical strategies, share honest conversations, and uncover the science behind anxiety and well-being, all while creating a space where it's okay to not be okay. Let's continue this journey together. If you've been feeling more anxious, a little bit foggy, maybe a lot foggy, or just not quite yourself lately, today's conversation might just be the missing piece you didn't even know you were looking for. Today we're talking gut health, mood, anxiety, brain fog, and so much more. I'm actually really excited because I get to introduce you today to my very own wonderful nutritionist, Ali Tehan. She specialises in supporting women through perimenopause and menopause, helping them to nourish their gut, balance their hormones, and get back to living their healthiest and most fulfilling life. And tick, 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 Ali has helped me with all of that and so much more. The difference that Ali's made in my life, helping me get on top of my sugar cravings, learning how to properly fuel and nourish my gut and my body, and also managing body composition changes that come with menopause and perimenopause have just been absolutely awesome. So I'm really grateful and excited to welcome you to the podcast today, Ali. Thank you so much. I know how busy you are and how many people you're seeing each week. To make time to talk to me here on the potty, I'm so grateful.
Oh, thank you so much, Jodie, and thank you for having me. I love talking to you and I love all your energy and everything you do in your business. So I think, I was more than happy to come on and I love to talk about this topic so much. So happy to be here.
Oh, gosh. And all my life, I think I got to the point, Ali, where when I reached out to you, because we'd known each other for a long time, and I just got to the point where it's like, if not now, when? It's like I'm struggling with these things. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling good about myself. I don't know what to do. My things are changing in ways that I just am not equipped to, understand to take care of myself in this way anymore. And so I'm so grateful for you and the fact that you specialize in perimenopausal and menopausal women is just brilliant because we talk about it so much more now. We understand so much more about kind of what to expect with, thinking changes and bodily changes and composition and gut and digestion and mood and anxiety. We kind of know to expect that, but it's knowing what to do. And I'm wondering kind of what things you're seeing in your clinic with the women that you are working with.
Yeah, and just coming back to what you just said, like about not knowing what to do and if not now, when, sometimes we can be so caught up in information that's online and just hearing what everyone else is saying. And it's becoming very loud and noisy on social media about what every woman should do. And I think people are getting more and more lost in that and getting more confused. And that's what I'm hearing a lot from women. It's like, I'm trying to do this and this and this, and I hear so much online, but now I'm actually lost when it really needs to be personalized because everybody's experience is so different and everybody's priorities and goals are different too. So, I just love when people invest in their health. And this morning I had a lady talk to me and say, I'm 60, I go to the gym 5 days a week, I eat really well, all my blood levels are really optimal, but I just want to know what to do. And I said, exactly. And this is amazing because for the next 30 years, she has another 30 years, you want to live your best life. So I love just helping women sort of get down to the nitty gritty and understanding what they need to do and cut out all the noise. What I see mainly with women who come to me sort of falls under three different pillars. And I would say it's sort of weight management. A lot of women suddenly feel like they've gained a lot of weight, their body's changing, they don't know what they're doing or what they've done wrong. Or it's energy because the body's experiencing such high levels of inflammation. Our nutrient levels are changing as well with this change in life stage. So we don't have the same energy. We're often iron deficient from heavy bleeding. And then there's also the gut health and digestion changes that occur. So it really falls under those three pillars with the changes that women experience. So weight management, energy, gut health, and digestion are the main areas that women come to me.
Thank you, because I'm sure there are a lot of women, and if you're a fella listening to this, I love that, because if you live with a woman or you work with women or you have daughters, it's really important to understand that this life stage, perimenopause, menopause being 12 months from the day of your last period as a definition, if you're nodding, so I've got that right. But what you said before about an investment, because anyone who has had problems with their health, and even just like day to day, that quality of life, and that when day to day we're not feeling like, you might have slept well or feel like you've slept well, or your Whoop. Sometimes my Whoop tells me I've had 100% sleep, which is rare, but it might be in the 90s, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. And so, because we've got a lot to do, don't we? And if we can have our energy and our clear thinking and feel good about ourselves, because body image is something, that is something that everybody thinks about, how we feel about, the bodies that we're living in, and there are significant changes. So I love that, you've normalized kind of these sorts of challenges. And the one thing that I'm really interested to know, and I know is a real passion of yours, is the gut brain connection. Can you help us understand? Because it's easy to sort of look at ourselves and think, oh, I need to lift weights, or I need to do some exercise, and think about the body and health from that external kind of point of view. And we know that we need to drink water and we need to eat fruits and vegetables. But what is it about our gut health that can make such a difference to the way we kind of feel and function every single day?
Yeah, so this is such a big area. It's quite complex, but I guess there are a few different components in that. There's the gut-brain axis, which is pretty important. So that's the bidirectional communication between the gut and the brain, and that occurs through three different channels in our body. And that's really important because a lot of the communication is coming from our gut to our brain. And when that's working well, we do feel well. We have less brain fog, we have less anxiety and depression, and it can manifest differently for everyone, but we do know that it can lead to increased anxiety and not coping with stress as well. So we've got to work on feeding our gut bacteria. So we've got the microbiome, which is all the bacteria in the large intestine. It's good to think of it like a rainforest. So we've got good and bad bacteria, but what we want is the good bacteria to be dominating and doing their role, which is producing compounds that communicate with our brain that everything is happy and going well. The other communication pathway is through our immune system, and our immune system is trained by our gut bacteria. So that comes back to making sure we have a good, healthy gut microbiome. And then the other form of communication is through the vagus nerve, which is the nerve running between the gut and the brain. So what's important is making sure that we have a very healthy and diverse gut microbiome, because when it is diverse, we have lots of different bacteria, and when they eat the fiber from the food that we eat, they produce compounds that reduce inflammation, keep our immune system happy, keep our brain happy, and keep everything humming along well. And to do that, we need to eat lots of different types of fiber and focus on, when we think about our body, are we supporting our gut microbiome in everything that we do? And there's so many things we can and should be doing to support it. But it's quite amazing the impact it has on our brain, our mental health, our mood, energy, skin, every aspect of our health, and how much we have to really focus on it sort of on a day-to-day basis. But the other thing that sort of complicates it even more is, as we go through this life stage change of perimenopause, our gut microbiome is shifting as well because of the change in hormones. So it makes it even more of a focus for us to work on. And I think we often hear, oh, we've got to eat all this protein, which we do, but we also need to be eating enough fiber and different types of plant fibers to keep our gut healthy, to assist with the changes that are happening in perimenopause.
Oh, thank you.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. So the three pathways, one was the immune system, one was the vagus nerve, and was the other the gut-brain axis? Was that?
No, the
Oh,
other's the actual microbiome. So it produces compounds. So it's good to think of it like when we eat fiber. So say you eat an apple with the skin can't be digested, and that's the fiber, and it makes its way down to the large intestine to the gut bacteria, and they're all waiting for this food to come down. When the apple skin comes down, the bacteria will grab that, eat it, and then it produces compounds that work on our immune system, on producing metabolites that do all these wonderful roles in our body that reduce inflammation and make us feel good.
oh, so if we were to talk about a few things that we can do that really detract from the health of our microbiome versus a few things that we could do to improve the health of our microbiome, is that a reasonable question to ask?
Yeah, definitely. I think we all know that antibiotics, like taking them, should only be, we should only take them when absolutely necessary because, you and I grew up at a time where antibiotics were handed out all the time. So we had a lot growing up. And we now understand it does affect the microbiome and depletes good and bad bacteria. So we want to be avoiding it as much as possible and only taking them when absolutely necessary. Alcohol is another one. It really does affect our gut microbiome. It not only, affects our sleep
Yeah.
in a negative way and increases inflammation, but it really does affect our gut microbiome. So it's being mindful how much alcohol you're having and how much processed food as well. I think it's much harder to eat really well in our current environment. We have to be very intentional about eating lots and lots of whole foods because we are busy and processed food is just so easy, cheap, and available. So we have to be really mindful of how much processed food we do eat. And, the research has shown that the more whole foods we eat and the less processed food we eat, the better our mental health.
Oh goodness, it's so true, and you're reminding me of something that I was chatting with a friend the other day, and she was saying how her daughter was complaining that their house had a pantry full of ingredients, and my daughter has said that to me too because I grew up with my mum making food from scratch is the way we always kind of talked about it, and I'll make my own chicken nuggets, and I'll take and it takes time, doesn't it? Like I made a meal the other night, and I think from start to finish, oh gosh, I don't know. I felt like I was in the kitchen for 2 hours. It probably might not have been that long, and I'm not doing anything gourmet, people. Like, trust me, it was like meat and three veg or something. But I'd actually marinated some chicken thighs in like a tandoori kind of thing. I was trying something new, and nobody loved it. But anyway, I think what you just said about processed food, and for women at our stage of life, like you and I were talking before, there's often the mental load we know from the research is on the shoulders of women, and that with kids going here, there and everywhere with sport, part-time jobs, our own work, our own families, all of the things that we're doing, aging parents and trying to keep ourselves healthy and well. And so taking time to actually prepare proper meals, it's not something that's on everyone's sort of top of the list, but the stress and the overwhelm and the anxiety that can be a part of this stage of life, whether that's because you have struggled with anxiety, whether it's come on during perimenopause, as it can, whether or not just this stage of life is just overwhelming you. But because there's only so much we can do about the external circumstances, aren't there, in terms of what's needed from us every day.
I always remind my clients that, when it comes to eating well, we have control over our breakfast and lunch, and they're probably the two most important meals of the day for women in this stage of life because getting front loading your day with nutrition, protein, and fiber is better than waiting till the end of the day to get all of those foods. So always remember that breakfast is yours and you can have full control of it. You can make sure you're getting all the foods that you love in that meal. And that goes the same with lunch. But I think dinner is a compromise. But it doesn't have to be difficult or complex. It can be really simple. I think we have to remember that. Like, it doesn't have to be big and gourmet, just really simple. As long as you're getting your protein and your plants in any way you can, is easier. Makes life a bit easier. Yeah.
That's what I love about working with you. And I joined your breakfast challenge. You had a brilliant breakfast challenge that you did, and that I thought I'm going to be overwhelmed. My assumptions about seeing a nutritionist were that, oh goodness, I'd have long lists of ingredients, and the thing I loved about you was that you just pare it all back to help keep it simple and straightforward, and help me work with what, because I don't eat eggs and I don't eat meat, but I do eat fish, and I eat a lot of tuna these days. But yeah, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. And what you said before about the things that can really detract from our microbiome, being antibiotics, being alcohol, being processed foods, that some of what detract. Obviously, we've talked about plants and things like the skin on an apple, but for the person listening who's thinking, right, okay, I could do with a bit less brain fog. My anxiety is spiking, especially perimenopausal anxiety can be a really big challenge for a lot of women. What are some of the things they could do that would make a really positive difference to their microbiome? This beautiful little rainforest down there that's just saying, feed me, feed me.
Yeah, I think, thinking about what plant foods you love and including them at every meal, not just waiting for dinner or every other day to have, veggies. I think it's important to sort of, when you're planning your meals, it's like your protein and your fiber. And what we want to be doing, because women need to be getting a minimum of sort of 25 grams of fiber a day. And that's hard to like sort of eyeball unless you're really familiar with fiber in foods. But it's not just sort of salads and veggies. It's also thinking about fruit, which a lot of people are scared of eating. Fruit's such a good source of fiber for women. And also thinking about nuts and seeds and herbs and whole grains as well, if you like to eat those, and legumes. They all count as different types of fiber that our gut microbiome love. Our gut microbiome loves a variety. So I always say to people, if you want to work out, like want to include more fiber, then aiming for 30 different plant foods a week is a really good way to do a bit of an audit to understand, have you got enough variety in your diet? I mean, when I say that to people, they get really worried, like 30, they think that's like 30 different veggies. It's not. It's like 30 different plants. Like, are you eating rolled oats, berries, apples? Are you eating herbs and spices? Do you eat chickpeas or beans? Are you eating, it includes all of the plant foods, not just veggies. So we need to remember that, because they all provide different levels of fiber across the groups. It's not just all about, okay, eat broccoli, cauliflower all the time, and carrots. So it's remembering that. And I think that's a really good thing for people to remember or understand, because people just get so worried about how many veggies they're eating all the time. But it's also the nuts, the seeds, the fruit, the herbs, the spices. So I think thinking about what goes well with the breakfast that you love that includes lots of fiber, things like, we all know chia seeds are really high in fiber. They're always great if you like those. Things like berries are amazing as well. Rolled oats are fantastic as well. If you have eggs, things like asparagus and spinach are great, and they cook really easily, and mushrooms. And thinking like, how can you include more plant foods like those in your meal, rather than just thinking, I'll just have a bowl of porridge, or I'll just have a smoothie with a banana and mango. Yeah.
Yes, which can almost become like default kind of recipes and things, can't they? But with the berries, you're okay with frozen berries, aren't you? Like that's yes.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, they're so much cheaper, and then you've got them all year round. I mean, I don't think it was a particularly good berry season this year. And they're really expensive, but if you buy them frozen, it's just so much more economical. Yeah.
One of the things that I love was the recipe of the coconut bircher with the flaxseed, the rolled oats, the coconut, and protein powder, and that mix that up and then have it with the yogurt and the berries. I love that, and I know that I'm getting the oats and things. But the chia one, I'm just going to ask a personal question, listeners. But with the chia seeds, I love them, but I love I love kind of that vanilla-y flavour making of a chia pudding, but I know a lot of the really yummy chia puddings are made with like coconut milk and things, and that doesn't sit well with me. How would you make a chia pudding for me and for anyone else who's interested?
Yeah, so it depends. It's very personal, chia puddings. Personally, I don't like them when they're really gelatinous. I prefer when they've just been sitting for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah,
So I think it comes back to what you prefer, what texture you prefer. So you can use milk, you can use yogurt and let it sit for at least sort of 10, 15 minutes.
yeah,
And the chia seeds absorb all the liquid and then they swell and they're easier to digest for people. If you prefer coconut yogurt or coconut milk, that is fine as well. But I think you get more sort of nutrition and protein from like a cow's yogurt.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's sort of a better option. But it really depends. Like nutrition is so nuanced, as we know. So it really comes down to the person and what they prefer and what they can digest and what suits their body.
Yeah, you're exactly right. No, thank you so much. And yeah, when you said 30 fruits and well, 30, different plants a week, like I was immediately like, what? But when you talked about spices and oats and nuts and legumes and fruit and veg, then it might be interesting for all of us to have a look at what we are actually eating in a week. We might be surprised, or we might realize, hey, yeah, this is something that I can make a difference, because constipation is a frequent challenge for perimenopausal women, isn't it, as well?
Oh, definitely. Because with the change in hormones in our gut and our hormones are directly linked. So, with the change in hormones, our gut microbiome changes, which then also affects how quickly our bowel motions move through our gut. And also, our liver function becomes quite important too during this stage of life. So, that can also slow down how quickly things move through. So yeah, sort of every second person I see will have some form of constipation. It doesn't mean you don't go every day. It can be you can go every day, but you don't feel like you empty. So that starts to happen with women, and then they become very sensitive to certain foods, and they can experience all sorts of digestive changes,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I work with a lot of women on that. And one of the big things is mixing up your fibers and making sure you're getting specific fibers that will help your gut motility and support that. So your bowel movements, you feel like you're empty, but they're also happening on a daily basis. That's really important.
And I know one of the things you've said is kiwi fruit with the skin.
Yeah, kiwi fruit with or without the skin.
Okay.
It depends. You can have the skin, and that's an extra bonus if you do eat it. But kiwi fruit are so, so amazing. And they're back in season now, which is so good.
Yeah, so good, so good. No, thanks, Ali. And one of the other things I know, that one of the things that I've heard you speak about that I really wanted to ask you about today are prebiotics. So we've heard of probiotics, but can you explain the difference and
Yeah.
why prebiotics are important, and especially when it comes to our mood and our mental health as well?
Yeah, okay. So often what we see, like probiotics were a huge thing a while ago, and a lot of women will just take a random probiotic that they found at the chemist just to help with their gut and digestion because things are changing and they think it will help. And sometimes it can help, but it's actually just when we're taking a probiotic, that is the live bacteria that we're taking that is passing through our gut. It doesn't stay in our gut. So as long as we're taking the probiotic, that's when we receive the beneficial or the benefits of the probiotic. But with probiotics, you need to be taking them for a specific reason, and you need to take a specific strain for whatever reason you're taking them. So if you were taking them for sort of acne, or you were taking them for constipation or diarrhea, then you would be taking a completely different probiotic for those
Right.
particular conditions. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's important to know that because the ones over the counter that we buy are just random. They're not really strain specific or condition specific. And you don't need to be taking a probiotic every day for general health. What is more important is a prebiotic. And the prebiotic is actually the type of food that feeds the bacteria in your gut. So it is playing an actual long-term role by feeding your bacteria and helping it thrive. There are lots of different types of prebiotics that you can buy. So, an example of one that you may have heard of is partially hydrolyzed guar gum, often known as PHGG, which is great for constipation and improving your gut health and reducing inflammation. That is a great one that a lot of people take, which can really help with gut motility and keeping your bowel movements regular. There are lots of other different ones, but you normally would prescribe prebiotics after doing some sort of gut testing, which I do in clinic with some clients when we've got chronic gut issues and we want to see what's going on inside the gut, what do we need to address. And often we'll see when people come to me and they experience really chronic bloating or pain, just a lot of discomfort, we will test their gut and see that they've got an overgrowth of a certain bad bacteria, for
Right.
example. So, what we do and how we treat that is usually with prebiotics, like a specific prebiotic, which might be called PHGG or it might be called GOS or FOS. And that will feed the good bacteria, help that thrive, but also reduce the bad bacteria that's causing a lot of the symptoms. So, that's in the supplement form when we take prebiotics. But prebiotics are also in foods that I encourage people to take, such as things like legumes, rolled oats, green bananas, garlic, onion, asparagus. Those sorts of foods are fantastic for helping to also feed good gut bacteria that offer benefits to our gut and our whole body.
Oh, wow. Thank you. It's so good. And it's so good to like, and again, you can get these prebiotics through foods or supplements if needed.
With the prebiotics from supplements, that's when we're trying to address an issue, I guess. And with from food, that's when we're trying to support our health. Sorry, I should have made that
Yeah,
clear.
no, it's really important because the thing is it can get expensive if I mean, here's the thing, isn't it? It's like we look after our health now or we look after it later when we're facing a health challenge. And that was really what, like, because I'd always prided myself on being a healthy, I'm using air quotes, a healthy person, but I also had these crazy sugar cravings. And I was just, yeah, I mean, yes, so I kind of had made the decision that I know what it means to look after my mental health because I've had the worst mental health a person can experience, and I know I've been down that road. And I think for all of us, it's we don't have to dive in and make all sorts of changes to our nutrition to experience the benefits, but we can just understand more about the difference that it can make and start to make some small changes, can't we?
Yeah, and I see this all the time. I mean, most of my clients, it's not a huge overhaul, it's a few small changes, and they experience the benefits dramatically. It's amazing. And it's so good to see because we don't have to feel like it is overwhelming. It's just a bit of personalized direction.
Yeah, it really is. And oh, look, when it comes to, like you were saying about the digestive, like the symptoms, because I had a friend who used to have like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and I don't know a lot of people who've had digestive challenges, but it can really take away from quality of life, can't it? Like people can suffer a lot, and they don't necessarily have to be if they get the right advice.
Yeah, and I think we're just learning so much more and more. Like even like the last sort of 3 years, we understand so much more about the gut, which is really exciting because receiving a diagnosis from your GP of, oh, you've got IBS, go on this low FODMAP diet to reduce your symptoms. We don't need to do that anymore. Like we know so much more and we can do this testing and understand what's causing the issue. So it's really exciting.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, thank you for being here. And Isn't it exciting to work in a field where, like, just in the last 3 years, there's been changes and new research and more understanding, and certainly people like Dr. Stacey Sims are really helping push forward the female-specific research, and also bringing the so much of the research to the community. And Ali, you've shared so much today, and I'm wondering if for somebody listening who's thinking, okay, I have a really good understanding now that my gut health is something to pay some attention to, and that I can increase my fruits and veggies, think about some probiotics, think about the things that might take away from my gut health, and then like, oh, I don't know where to start. Like, what would be a good starting place for the listener who's like, okay, I know this could make a difference for me, but I can't do it all at once. What's a good place to begin?
I think a really good thing to start with is noticing your bowel movements. I think
oh, joy.
This is quite confronting for a lot of people, but it is so important. And this is what I ask people about in the first appointment when they see me is, what do their bowel movements look like? How regular are they? Do they feel like they empty? Are they easy? Because your bowel movements tell me so much about your health and your digestion. And a lot of people don't even think about it, and they often are taking their phones to the toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Thinking about how their bowel movements are, what time of day or when. And I think having a daily bowel movement that feels like you empty is a really good start and a good way to think about how you feel about your digestion. Also noticing, how do you feel after your meals? Do you feel satiated? Do you feel like you digest that food really well? Does it suit you? Does it suit your gut health? And if you're someone who does experience symptoms that you're a little bit concerned about, I think starting a symptom diary, a food and symptom diary, is a really good start, because it gives you more awareness about what you're eating and how you're feeling, and maybe it helps you identify a pattern about what's going on as well. And then if you are really happy with how your digestion is going and you've got a regular bowel movement, then looking at your breakfast and thinking about, okay, well, am I eating enough plant foods with my breakfast and also your lunch and dinner? And looking at that and thinking, could I improve in any way or add a different plant a few times a week? Like, I know a lot of us will eat lettuce, tomato, and cucumber as our lunch salad plant ingredients. It's like, well, what else could you add to that? Yeah. Could you add some edamame? Edamame is one of my favorite foods for people to add to their meals, because they are so high in protein and fiber. They're like the best thing around at the moment. They're such an easy ingredient to add to a salad or to snack on. So thinking about things like that, adding berries, which is so beneficial for our brain health and our gut. That's kind of a good start, I think.
Oh, that is exceptional. And your pea and edamame smash on toast, I love it. I love it.
So good.
Oh my goodness, so good. Ali, honestly, thank you so much. And for listeners who were like, you've given us so much. And look, I was so excited to talk to you today, because I know the difference that you've made for me, because it's really important to me to take the best care of myself and to like live the longest health span that matches my lifespan, because some people live a long time but they're not very healthy towards the end, and sometimes that gap can be sort of 10, 15, 20 years, can't it? And so if a listener is thinking about maybe working with someone like yourself, where can they learn more about the work that you do and get in contact with you? And yeah, if you could just tell listeners where they can find you online, that would be amazing.
Oh, thank you. So I've got my website where you can jump on and see a little bit about me and learn more about me and what I do. And you can actually book in a free discovery call with me and we can have a chat about whether I'm the right person for you and how I help you. It's a really good way for people to understand how I work and how I would work with your particular presentation. So people can do that. Or if they'd like to see me on social media, I'm mostly on Instagram under Ali_Tehan_nutritionist.
And it's Tehan. That's amazing. You're always sharing lots of great insights online as well. So, Ali, thank you. Thank you so much. I think listeners will have learned a lot today. And despite the work that we've done together, I learned a lot as well. So I'm very, very grateful for your time.
Oh, thank you so much, Jody. Thank you so much for having me. And I've loved working with you. And happy to answer any questions anyone has as well if they want to contact me directly via my website.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this time with me on Well, Hello Anxiety. Remember, understanding anxiety is the first step to managing it. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Take things one moment at a time. Focus on what you can control and know that you are not alone on this journey. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone who might need to hear it too. I'm Dr. Jodi Richardson, and I'll meet you right back here next week. Hi there, Dr. Jodi here. If stress and anxiety are taking a toll on your staff or community, or your people are looking for science-backed, practical ways to support their wellbeing, this is exactly the work I do. I speak in schools, workplaces, and at conferences across Australia, helping people understand stress and anxiety, respond more effectively under pressure, and build sustainable wellbeing. My presentations and workshops are practical, evidence-based, and genuinely impactful. People don't just listen, they remember and use what they learn. To find out more, head to the contact page at drjodirichardson.com to arrange a time to learn more about how I can support your school or workplace.